Okay, so we're going to start today with some listening stations. So this tells me a bit about your primary respiratory mechanism and where it may be blocked in certain areas of the body, and then I can modify your treatment according to what I find.
Sounds good.
Okay. So starting with the dorsum of the feet, I'm going to ask for the primary respiratory mechanism. Okay, so I'm going to give it 1 for symmetry, about a 1 for quality, amplitude is about a 2, and rate is 10. Moving on to the shins. So symmetry is about a 2. Quality will say 2. Amplitude 2. And the rate is 10. So again, symmetry 2. Say quality 2. Amplitude 2. And the rate 10. So symmetry, again, 2. Quality, I would say 1. Amplitude a 2. And the rate is 10. So symmetry around the ribs is 1. I'd say quality is 1. So amplitude, we'll say 2. And rate is 10. So on the shoulders, symmetry 1, quality 1, amplitude 1. Right 10. And vault hold 1. So I'm feeling very little movement in vault hold 1, almost non-existent. So again, I'd rate 1 for all of those. Vault hold 2. Again, symmetry 1. Quality 1. Amplitude 1. And the rate is hard to find too because I'm not really feeling much movement. Okay, and moving on to the sphenoid or vault hold 3. So symmetry is about a 2. Quality 2. Amplitude is 1. And this is closer to the 12-second cycle. Okay, so we're going to start treatment with an L5S1 distraction, and my hand ends up underneath your sacrum and in between your legs, as long as you're okay with that.
I'm good with that.
Okay. So just lift your hip. Okay, and then straighten out. So I'm just going to wait here until I feel the tissue melting and the sacrum moving a little bit better than it is.
Okay.
And I have my left hand on a, say, L4, L5 spinous process, and right hand is cupping the sacrum. feel the sacrum drop a bit. A therapeutic pulse I can feel in my right hand, which means that the sacrum has released. Okay, so moving on to the OCB release, occipital cranial base. And we've already previously done the transverse ligament test, which was negative, which means that it's okay to do this technique. So starting with, it's okay, just placing my fingertips on the suboccipitals, waiting for the tissue to melt and my fingers to sink in. Okay, so now they've sunk into the tissue, and moving on to platform, where I'm pressing the C1 forward, anteriorly, and superiorly, or applying the pressure superiorly. So now I'm waiting, I can feel the C1 moving anteriorly. I'm waiting, I'm holding it until I feel the tissue pushing me out. Which it is right there. And moving to traction of the occiput. Gentle traction. And then spreading of the dural tube, so spreading kind of laterally, both sides. And as well, doing a thoracic inlet release to accompany the OCB release to allow for tissue fluid movement throughout the neck and basically avoid any kind of like headache-like feelings from the OCB. So I'm placing my right hand on his posterior neck and around C1, C2, C3 area, and then placing my left hand on his collarbones. And just waiting for a therapeutic response or a tissue release. Okay. And then moving on to also doing the pelvic diaphragm. Get you to lift your hip. Oh, wait, stand. Okay, back down. So again, applying a little pressure posteriorly and superiorly with my left hand, my right hand cradling the sacrum, and I'm waiting for therapeutic response or the tissue feeling like it's melting underneath my hand. So this would be addressing the pelvic diaphragm, which I found in fascial assessment to be blocked, and the sacrum had little movement as well. So this is good to release that area. And there I feel the tissue melting. Moving on to the respiratory diaphragm. And I feel his spine unwinding a bit in the posterior, like with my right hand posteriorly. Okay. And now I'm moving on to the hyoid bone because I just did the thoracic inlet diaphragm release. And so from here, I'll do the rock and glide of the dural tube. So cupping the sacrum and the posterior neck. So about C1 to C2, C3 area. And following the respiratory mechanism, as it goes into flexion, I wait until it reaches the end of the cycle and rock the sacrum as well as the neck at the same time, caudally. Giving it a little nudge and then waiting for the rhythm to go into extension. And waiting till the end of extension to do a little nudge cranially. And again, doing this a couple times. Only do a couple times today. Regularly I would do this about 10 or 12 times in treatment. But for the sake of video time, we'll shorten the amount of the rock and glide. on to the focal treatment, focal aspect of the treatment. I'll do the frontal bone. So creating little suction cups with my fingers, applying we'll say, like a medial and anterior pressure, slight pressure to the frontal bone, and waiting for the bone to feel like it's floating. And I'm choosing this bone to work on because his vault hold 1 showed little movement. Okay, moving on to reassessing his listening stations. So again, symmetry is still 1 at his feet. Say quality is a 2. Amplitude is a 2. And rate is still a 10. So symmetry is a 2 in the shins. Quality will say 2. Amplitude 2. And rate is 10. So symmetry is a 2. Quality is a 2. Amplitude 2. Rate is 10. So symmetry 1. Quality 1. amplitude 2, and rate is 10. So symmetry 2, quality 2, amplitude 2, rate is 10. So symmetry will say 2, quality almost a slight improvement to 2, amplitude still 1, and rate still a 10. So vault hold 1, so a little bit more movement this time actually. Symmetry, we'll say a 2, quality is still 1, amplitude is still a 1, almost 2. Rate is like 11. So vault hold 2, symmetry is a 2, quality 1, amplitude 2, and rate 10. Vault hold 3, say symmetry is a 2, quality 2, amplitude 2, and the rate is closer to 14.